Hello and welcome to Crypto Weeklies. In this video, we'll be discussing Ethereum at length. None of the content is financial advice. Let's get started. The market over the last 7 days has been in a sea of red. You can see the 24-hour performance is essentially negative for most of the major cryptos. Even in the last 7 days, again, Bitcoin performing the best. Again, still negative 3.5%. The rest again bleeding a lot, but over the 30 days and 90 days the market is still up. Now we'll briefly look at what ETH USD is doing at currently at around $3,400. Again, a key level in terms of the fib levels. Just to visualize it clearly, the 0.618 is at around $3,350. Again, the price did come close to that at a wick, but has not closed below the $3,300. Again, this is the fib retracement from the previous high of about $4,800 to the market cycle low of about $890. And again, over a longer period of time, again, as ETH has been around for multiple cycles, and it has consistently put new all-time highs throughout the 4-year cycles. The last time around, again, in 2017, 2018, the all-time high was at that point in time was at around $1,200 for ETH, and the 4.2 fib level for ETH from that retracement to was at around $4,900. In the next bull market, the price did go slightly below the 4.2 fib level at around $4,862. Again, if we were to extrapolate that into based on the fib levels into the next bull run, again, a conservative target for ETH would be at around $7,300. Again, that would correspond to, again, if in the last market cycle, if ETH were to top at around $1,900, that would be as same as, again, in the next year, that is in 2025, ETH topping at around $7,300. Again, this is a heavily diminished return scenario. The moderate target is 2.618 at around $11,200. Again, that would correspond to ETH topping at around $3,000. Again, not too far from the $4,800. Again, only if you look at the number of weeks, ETH spent about 3K in the bull run of 2021. Again, you could count those number of weeks. Again, it was less than half a year above this 3K level. Again, that makes sense. If going forward, that 11K level could be similar to the 3K level back in 2021, and the lofty goal with considering diminishing return, the lofty target is at around 3.618 fib level at around $15,000. That's the just based on the Fibonacci level. But again, what is more key to look at ETH is in terms of the ETH Bitcoin pair. This is the pair which, again, number of BTC available for one ETH. This particular pair did put higher high till about 2017, but then it's a series of lower highs but also higher lows. So that means, again, and the key level to watch is in the last bull run, that is in 2021, based on the 2017-2018 retracement. ETH Bitcoin went as high as about this 0.5 fib level at around 0.08. That is about 8.7 million sats per ETH. Right now, in this current cycle, ETH BTC went as low as about 0.03 319 to be precise, from the highs of about 0.08. So the 0.5 fib level for ETH is at around 0.06, and that represents about a 65% rally on its Bitcoin pair. That is ETH to rally 65% on its Bitcoin pair. That would correspond to a 0.5 fib level extension from its bear market bottoms. Again, usually those kind of moves, if Ether has to make those kind of aggressive moves against Bitcoin, those usually follow after Bitcoin USD has topped, or again, or at least put a meaningful market cycle peak. That is, again, for example, over here in May of 2021, that's when ETH started, end of April and May of 2021, when Bitcoin USD had already done its major moves. That's when ETH BTC started to pop again. With that hypothesis, and also the market ROI for Bitcoin in 2025 based on what Bitcoin did in 2021. Again, yearly ROI for Bitcoin in 2021 was at around 60%, roughly speaking. So let's assume that in 2025 Bitcoin grows by about 60%. Ether on its BTC pair, retracing to this 0.5 fib level, represents about a 65% gain. In that scenario, the 65% return is about 1.65x from the current price, and for that, the favorable conditions to achieve that kind of 1.65x gain on Bitcoin requires Bitcoin USD to be somewhere about 60% higher than the current price. That is again a 1.6x from the current level. And ETH USD at around 3,600. Again, right now we can replace it by about 3,422 to make this more accurate. In that scenario, the ETH USD forecast in that scenario is about $9,034. That is again an extrapolation of those three conditions. One being ETH BTC going to this 0.06 range, representing a 65% gain. Second being the 60% rise in Bitcoin USD based on the 4-year cycle, and the last post halving year returns for Bitcoin, and the ETH USD price. So this is one way to look at ETH. Again, that forecast is again somewhere between the 1.618 and the 2.618, accounting for the diminishing return somewhere over here at around $9,034. That is again a midpoint of the 1.618 and 2.618 fib levels. That is one scenario to forecast. Our machine learning models that we have on the website forecast the ETH USD price action in 2025 at least till about end of May of 2025, about 6 months into the future, using machine learning models trained on price action for ETH at a weekly level. The bull case without any euphoria, that is 1 standard deviation or 68 percentile bull case for ETH is between $3,900 and about $6,176 between now and end of month of May of 2025. In a euphoria case, that is this 2 standard deviation case for Ether. So for example, from between October 23 till about March of 2024, the price grew from $1,500 to about more than 2x to about $3,900. That is, those kind of moves are the euphoria phases move. Also, you could understand this in terms of what Ether did in towards the end of halving year of the last cycle, that is towards December of 2020, 4 years ago. Again, that parabolic move from $600 to about 6x from there at around $3,800. Those are the 2 standard deviation move that this model refers to when it describes the 2 standard deviation or the bull case at 95 percentile confidence level. In that scenario, the ETH USD price could be between 4 per the model. Again, none of the content financial advice, per this machine learning model that we have trained using ARIMA, LSTM and XGBoost, and also weekly price action for ETH. At this point, that 2 standard deviation ceiling is at about $4,222 till about $8,800. So this is the 2 standard deviation rally. And if we were to be even more bullish at around to identify some of the peaks for the market cycle, and assuming that those peaks occur within the next 6 months, the 3 standard deviation ceiling for Ether is between $4,500 all the way to about 12.55k. So that is about $12,500, which is kind of confluent with this rationalization between this 2.618 fib level and 3.618 fib level, somewhere in between of close to somewhere in between of these two scenarios, or the 2 fib levels at around $12,500. That is one target for, like, a peak target for ETH in a parabolic run to the top. Those are the 3 scenarios in terms of ETH USD. In terms of the regression based valuation for ETH, this is the fair value for ETH is still again at around $4,400 based on the polynomial regression analysis. That means ETH is right now undervalued per the regression model. Again, one one price level to look for in this pullback is at around 2,708. So $2,797. That represents a one standard deviation residual applied on this polynomial regression model. That means again in this territory between this pink line and the green line, that's where ETH spends about 68% of the time when it is going down, and in opposite of that is spending 68% time again cumulatively speaking between this yellow line and this green line about the price action spending 68% of time if it's going up or down. The last time ETH came close to this level was back in May of 2024. Again in March kind of overshot this one standard deviation ceiling. Now that one standard deviation ceiling is at around $7,220. That means if the prices were to go to one standard deviation ceiling, and again this is a growing function, it would likely match the this 1.618 fib level, not far into the future if the shape of the regression function stays intact. The two standard deviation approach, which kind of perfectly caught the November 2021 top, that two standard deviation function is again at around $11,599. Again quite confluent between this ETH USD 2.618 level as well as the machine learning price forecast that we just covered at around $12,500 level. So those are the regression based valuation for ETH. In terms of the accumulation strategies, again the scenarios or the three model that we have is the what is ETH doing with respect to its 20-week simple moving average and what's the risk. It's a 50-50 at this point in time, and some of the theoretical projections in the next 20 weeks is between $4,250 to about $4,700. That's a moderate risk environment, and towards the higher end of the spectrum at around $4,800 and $5,200. This is the next 20 weeks worth of guidance based on the models. The DCA model takes into consideration the polynomial regression model, and based on that the risk levels are identified. About 22% risk, that means about 78% reward at this point in time. Going forward, about price action above $6,400 till about $9,170 represents a moderate risk. Anything above $9,600 to about $10,900 is identified as a high risk environment, or close to a peak per this model at this point in time. Again, these regression models get updated every single day based on the recent data. Again, if and based on the shape of the rally and how long does ETH take to get there, these valuations could change. And the great part of this website is the Crypto Weekly side of things. At least it's available for free without any ads, and you don't have to sign up for anything. The link is on the bottom of your screen. The time weighted average price model for ETH points to about the identified the best time to DCA based on this blue line, which is the time weighted average price line, identified the June 22 bottom as well as December 22 bottom. And right now the time weighted average price based risk is at about 64%. And in terms of analyzing the SMA risk for, let's say, only for ETH over here, this is right now in the moderate risk territory. Again, we did briefly peak in back in March at about 75% risk based on how ETH is doing with respect to the 20-week moving average, both on a normal scale as well as a proportional scale. This is a composite model that we have, and helps identify when it's the best time to DCA Bitcoin and ETH. Right now it's a 50-50 split in terms of risk reward. During the peaks the risks are quite elevated. Again, that's not the worst time to get out of the market, or at least halting the DCA. And during the low risk environment, again, not the worst time to get in the market. Again, historically speaking, not financial advice. Right now it's a 50-50 split, but what you can also observe that the Bitcoin risk is further elevated than ETH risk. And usually during the middle phases of the bear market, Bitcoin has a higher elevated risk, and only when, again, for example, Bitcoin per this model risk elevated at around Jan 2021, whereas ETH risk elevated at around May of 2021. Again, you can see in the March rally as well, Bitcoin took the charge and had a higher risk than ETH all throughout the, again, if you ignore a few months here or few days here and there. Mostly the peaks were made by Bitcoin and not by ETH. So again, that's one way to identify if we are close to a market cycle peak. In terms of now analyzing how far we are into the bull run, again per this model we are about 57% into the bull run. Completion occurs when the risks are about close to 100% or 1 over here, and bottoms are again when the risks are close to 0. Again, this is the peak valley indicator available over here in on the site, peak valley, and again helps identify based on the top 100 cryptos how they are doing on their risk journey based on several factors you can read up on the bottom of your screen. Overall sentiment still about 85%, that means bullish. There are more bullish narratives than bearish narratives on social media discussion related to crypto. Although the bearish narrative has started to pop up, the other altcoins are also garnering some attention, but Bitcoin and ETH are having a meaningful presence on this narrative word cloud. And with that, I would like to conclude the video. Before I do that, I'll just briefly summarize. There is a lot of confluence between this 2.618 and the 1.618 and 2.618 level. Again, the conservative estimate around $7,300, the moderate estimate around $11,276 for ETH, and about a 10 to 20% higher at around 13k. That's the ceiling forecasted by most of our models. With that, I would like to conclude the video. Hope you enjoyed the content. If you did, please give us a like or subscribe, and hope to see you again tomorrow. Thank you and have a nice day. Bye bye.